How do you get shit done? Just get her done. Well, I'm going to tackle this from only one perspective here, and dare I say, it's a bit of a limited perspective, but it is something that I've noticed, a certain pattern that I noticed in my life, and I've noticed that if I take a hold of that pattern, then I am much more likely to take action to get shit done, right? It's about probability at the end of the day. Like plants grow based on their environment. You give them the highest probability to grow in the best way possible. Sometimes they'll grow out of a less than optimal soil. Against the odds, they'll grow out of concrete. Other times they'll grow with high probability and they'll grow bigger and larger. So you're a plant, you're trying to give yourself the best environment to grow. Okay? So the perspective that I would like to tackle this from is energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. And that brings me to my point. If you're talking about something all the time, I'm going to fast, I'm going to start doing this, I'm going to start doing that, I'm going to start waking up early, I'm going to start this. You know what happens, right? Talking takes energy. It takes energy. All right? It takes energy. And what happens is if you're talking the talk, is that could, not always. We know Muhammad Ali talked the talk and walked the walk, right? But that could, certainly for me it does, that could take energy from walking the walk. So you say, I'm going to do something. Have you guys noticed this? I'm sure some of you guys watching this have noticed that when you start to talk about something, say, I'm going to do it, suddenly you're less likely to do it, or you may not. It's weird. It's a weird feeling, right? So by talking, you're actually, energy cannot be created and destroyed, only transformed. You're actually taking away, in most cases, not in all cases, like I said, certain cases, some are able to talk the talk and walk the walk, right? But even then, can they keep it up forever? Not always, right? At the end of the day, you're taking some energy from walking the walk. And it, in my opinion, it is better for the most part to talk less, and that actually gives you more energy to maneuver around. You're taking less energy from the walking the walk, and you simply walk in the walk. Know them not by their words, but by their actions, right? A good example of that. So speaking of Muhammad Ali, is one example of somebody that talks the talk, walks the walk. Take somebody on the opposite spectrum, Khabib, the UFC fighter, right? The guy doesn't like to talk shit. He's very respectful. Um, and then take McGregor, for instance, who's a phenomenal fighter, right? They're both phenomenal, but we all, everybody knows, it's common facts here, not even like just a fact. Khabib is a superior fighter. He proved it. He beat McGregor. He beat others. I don't know too much about UFC, but I know just enough about certain fighters. And Khabib, he has a pretty valid claim to be, a goat or one of the goats. Certainly in that weight division, right? In the lower weight divisions, right? Um, he's not somebody that likes to talk shit. And even though McGregor tried to drag him into it, he whipped his ass after, right? He obviously talked some shit, but nowhere near as McGregor, and he still, maintained his cool, and then he whipped McGregor's ass, like he just whipped his ass, right? So that's the two opposite spectrums, but of course Muhammad Ali talk, walk the walk. But I think it's just a rule of thumb. That's all it is. It's a rule of thumb. Talk less and do more. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Know them not by their words, but by their actions. And I found in my life, if I talk less, I tend to take more action. I tend to do more. So that's the perspective that I wanted to tackle this from, because you could talk about so many other aspects of getting shit done. Things like aligning yourself with the cycles of nature, waking up early because you have certain hormones that are secreted early on in the morning, in 8 a.m., 9 a.m., which help you actually get shit done more than, say, if you wake up later. Same thing with eating food. If you're eating garbage foods, junk food, you're going to be less likely to take action. But I wanted to tackle it because you're tired, you're lethargic, you're fatigued. So I want to tackle it from that perspective, right? We want to give the highest probability. If you're making a soil for the plant, there's several things, environment, there's several things you have to take into account. You have to take into account the soil, you have to take into account the dryness or the moisture in the air, you have to take into account altitude, so many things. And what we're talking about here is one of many aspects of that, okay? So hopefully that helps you guys. Good luck. May the force be with you, and I will see you in the next video.